Alrighty, so it is 7:01 roughly. I'd like to call this select board meeting to order. It is 7:01 roughly on July 15th, 2024. As we are now doing, I'd love to start with the Pledge of Allegiance. So if you'd like to join me in facing the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So, with everything going on in the world, again, a little patriotism is in order. Okay, announcements. All right, one of the 4 favorite times of the year. Tax bills were mailed out at the beginning of July, and residents should have received them by now. First quarter tax bills are due August 1st and can be paid online, by mail, or in person. Transfer station stickers are available now for $150, but in 2 weeks they'll be $180 on August 1st. Residents can purchase stickers online or in person at the town hall. Seniors 65 or older receive a free ticket on stickers are required for all vehicles. The town of Boxborough continues to offer public transportation through our Mart minibus service. Users can head to Rush Brothers, the South Acton train station, West Acton Village, or more for $1. Service runs from 7:30 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday, and more information can be found on the town's website. Rajan, you know where everything is in the website. If I wanted to take the minibus, where on the website? Like front page, or do I have to click on a link?
Well, we show.
Should be a special page under planning or council on aging.
So either under planning or council on aging. Could we possibly move it to the front just to make it easier for people to find?
Yeah, I can put it on the latest news.
That'd be amazing. Only because I'm the first one to say when I have to start looking for things, I struggle. My grandchildren say, Nana, why do you struggle? And I just say, because I do. The Central Massachusetts Mosquito Control Project has scheduled the following dates for mosquito spraying in Boxborough. So they're going to be here July 16th, that would be tomorrow, the 23rd, and the 30th. The schedule is subject to change depending on weather and mosquito population, and additional information can be found at www.cmmcp.org. The Council on Aging has a program on Wednesday, July 17th at 2 p.m. at the Community Center called A Funny Program About Funny Programs. Pop culture historian Martin Gitlin will host this fun and entertaining program that is sure to bring a smile to your face, if not a few laughs out loud. Seniors age 60 plus are invited to come to the Community Center to cool off and enjoy some clips from the greatest sitcoms of all time. Oh, come on. I'm not quite old enough. If that's not a reason to be 60, I don't know what is. I would like a report at the next select board meeting on what sitcoms are presented.
She would like a report at the next.
Of what?
Well, I'm just a little jealous
Of what?
about what
needs somebody
are
over
the
60
greatest
to be there.
sitcoms of all time. That I want. So if you guys go, I
Yeah.
want to know.
It's fantastic. It's
Okay.
wonderful. It's the best thing in the world. The town raises its level every time I go to those. It's
I
wonderful.
know. Well, I'm looking forward to your your update. Okay. Public. No, I'm serious. I'm a little jealous. Public. Okay. So
Did I tell
today
you
we,
about the $100 gifts they give everybody?
seriously, you get $100 too. Best town ever. Okay, just to remind everybody, public input will be taken at the beginning of the meeting, right after announcements, and then later on, people who wish to speak during the agenda will be asked to raise their hands, and we'll call on people, and you'll have 3 uninterrupted minutes to speak to the board. Yeah, we're just going to leave it at that. We'll just manage it. Everyone's been very well behaved, so I'm not going to worry too much about this. We can remind everybody later if we have to. Okay, next, public input. Does anybody have anything they want to share with the board? Either on Zoom or in person?
Mark Barbara.
Mark Barbadero.
Yeah, thank you. And the board has been very
Oh,
well
lean in, Mark,
behaved
lean in,
lately.
sorry.
Excuse me?
There, that's better. I couldn't hear you.
Oh, I just wanted to compliment the board that they have been very well behaved lately.
Why,
And
thank you.
You're welcome. I did want to point out that There was a court case that has been settled now. It's Lawrence B. White versus Mark Barbadoro et al. And the good news is the case has been dismissed with prejudice. That was on May 1st, 2024. I would recommend to the select board that they reach out to their town administrator and have him inform the people who are being sued that they are no longer being sued. It's an important thing when volunteers decide to represent the town and they get sued for it. It's helpful if they're informed of where the court case is, and when those issues are resolved, it's great to have the town, let them know. Thank you.
All right. Okay, good to know. So you'll fill us in on that?
I will.
Thank you, sir. All righty. New business. All right. So we have a couple of things that are not quite so fun. And that is, we have seen some vandalism at Liberty Fields. So Matt, do you want to talk to us about that? Or the chief? Who wants to handle this one? Grab the mic. But it's really,
No, it's fine.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say that I'm hoping that what happened was just ignorance and not understanding what was going to happen to the fields.
Are we referring to Liberty or Pfeiffer's? Because Pfeiffer's, I believe, was deliberate.
I'm referring to Liberty.
Liberty? Okay.
Right. But all right, why don't you fill everybody in and
Yeah, so the field was returned to the town from Green Acres, I want to say the week of the 30th. The fencing came down, and shortly after that, we were notified by a neighbor, someone who lives close to the fields, that they saw ATVs or electric scooters or something motorized driving all over the grass.
okay.
Obviously, we can't confirm what it was or who it was, but knowing that the town has invested like
Hundreds of thousands of dollars.
almost $2 million, we want to preserve that as best we can, knowing that it is a flagship field. We're already getting people requesting to use it for events, parties, and stuff like that. So there are people waiting for it, and we don't want to have to, come to extreme measures. I mean, there were people breaking into it and using the field while it was under construction. So, I mean, there are always going to be people out there, but, our concern is the field's in great condition right now.
So the damage wasn't irreparable. You guys were able to manage it. I saw photos, but it's hard to
Yeah,
put in context.
so it wasn't as bad as we thought.
Good.
The chief had somebody go down and look at it, and there's tire marks, but it's not to the extent where it's like irreparable damage
Okay.
this time. It could be going forward, but as of right now, it's not.
Okay.
But we
So-
want to prevent that.
So tell us what happened on Pfeiffer's Field. I didn't mean Flower, I meant Pfeiffer's.
Yeah, so there were a couple instances this year and last year where somebody drove a vehicle up and started doing donuts. And we're not talking like little, like...
Find a cow to tip, for the love of God, right?
What's that?
I'm teasing. I said find a cow to tip, for the love
Right.
of God. Yeah. Leave the
But I mean,
field alone.
it was to the point where it was unusable. Like
Huh.
it was divots in the grass from dirt, everything being removed. And we thought we had fixed it last year. Nope. The problem with that one, it is so remote that you don't know anybody's back there until you're at the field.
Do you think so for anyone who hasn't been over to Pfeiffer's, it's like this to go up the stairs. Do they think they drove up the paved path of the conservation land, or do you think they actually went up
There's a
the
ramp.
hill?
There's a ramp in the front of it where the people, so people can access it.
Yeah, so there
Oh.
was something there, and either they went up that way or they went up the other side, because when you pull into the parking lot, there's boulders and then
Right.
there's stairs.
Right.
But, I mean, people are inventive. They'll find ways to get somewhere if they want to get somewhere.
Well, it makes sense. There's the guys who have to mow it, or people that have to mow have to get up there.
Yep.
Okay, so what are your suggestions?
I mean, outside of, chief sending patrols there, it's kind of hard to do that all the time. We were throwing around the ideas of cameras. Like, we want to protect the investment, especially at Liberty, but also all the fields that, we have that people use. So we can not spy on people, but if something like this happens, we know who's doing it and who we can hold responsible to do it.
Is it possible to have cameras that only work at night?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not
No,
checking.
no, no, so I mean,
Well, they'd be night vision, but
they have night vision, but they.
you'd have them there all, it'd be 24-hour.
Okay.
Right, so
Surveillance.
they'd be motion detected type of cameras that the hunters use in the woods.
There's a few types.
Like trail cams? Is that what you're referring to?
I'm like when
Yeah.
when they look for deers or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if we'd have to have something that would be motion detected, though. I mean,
Well, that's what I'm thinking. Well, I'm thinking
Yeah.
you don't want them on all the time. You would only want them on if someone is walking in there, or hey, we'll pick up a deer. But I'm saying, but we'll also pick up an ATV or a car driving on it.
Well, the issue is that you don't have like a power source out there, so you can't have like the permanent camera, like the one that would be like either wireless or what have you. So it would have to be something that's mobile, like a trail camera or what have you.
Do they have battery operated ones, solar ones? I'm
the
assuming
problem with the
someone's
battery, well,
doing
so
some
the problem
research.
with the battery operated ones is you have to replace the batteries.
Okay.
There wasn't power run at Liberty, but what I'm trying to do, and we're looking into grants right now, is actually install solar at the new shed that we built there.
Okay.
We could get power there very easily, and it would be, green and all that, fun keyword stuff. But we could get power to cameras and stuff like that, or we find out how much it costs to run small conduit to the cameras and see if it's feasible. I don't know what we would do at Pfeiffer's, just because it is so remote. I don't know if we'd have to talk to the property owner to see if there's power back there or what, but
Okay.
we can certainly look into it.
What are your thoughts, Chief?
Yeah, I was going to ask the chief, can we do that legally?
Yeah.
But get to the money.
It's a public area.
Yeah, we could. I mean, the town owns the property. It's a public area, it was said. I mean, Matt's right. Early on in the spring, there was some moderate damage up on Pfeiffer's Field. The one recently at Liberty was minor. There's no signs up there. Someone probably took a bicycle or electric scooter, drove through it. Was pretty minor on there. There should be, and I think, Matt, you said you're working on signs, getting signs up there. That would, trespassing signs would be very helpful in that regard. So there really wasn't that bad damage this past time. There was, again, about two and a half months ago. We do, we are out there. Every shift has checks of all the town properties. I went back to May 1st. There was so far 459 checks of town property. So you're getting every shift. But again, that can't,
Yeah.
it just doesn't mean you can be there at all times. So
Right.
it could certainly happen. We do check on all the town properties, though, every shift. If you want the investment to protect, the investment you already made, we can go out and get those numbers. We had to do it for cameras for the state did not cover. That was one part of the when we switched over to regional that they would not cover was the cameras. And that was obviously a lot more cameras than we're talking here, but that was a rather hefty expenditure. We could look at that. Obviously, installation would be a lot more because, like you said, some of them are remote, some of the fields, but that would be kind of the Rolls Royce kind of if we want to go that route. Something a lot less minor that you guys talked about already, some solar power, battery powered, almost like hunting, but those are more reactive. Those aren't going to be 24/7. They're more reactive. Something goes on, we put it out there. You're not going to get the same bang for your buck on something like that, but certainly a lot more affordable. Something like that, a cloud-based technology, we're looking into that today, $300-400 a year plus the cameras. They're temporary in the sense that you can easily move them, but they're permanent. Often ones that are like on work sites, construction crews will use them. Things like cameras like that they can move when the project is done, but they can be permanent for a period of time. You're talking $200-300 for the cameras, and then for a subscription. So again, that's kind of lower end. So we can go whatever direction, but I don't want anybody to think the vandalism has been awful. It really hasn't. I mean, other than the one time in the spring, and I think. With the signs up, it will give us the opportunity to take more action. But again, we can't be there at all times. So,
Sure. So, again, okay. So I walk the trails behind Liberty in Patch Hill. I have seen the vehicles. So I think it's more ignorance than malevolence on Liberty.
Yes.
Because it's absolutely, you fly out the trailhead, you whip around the field, and you go back in, and it's wicked fun. So maybe it's, you know, and I don't know if anybody will care, but maybe it's a sign. Motorized vehicles are not allowed on the trails. Motorized vehicles are not allowed on the track. They're not on the field. Yeah. Are they going to read it? I don't know. But if it's there, more people would be cognizant of the fact, oh, gee, they should not be doing that right now. You know, I've never, you know, by the time they whiz by me, I'm not going to call you and say, hey, fly over here and try to catch that kid. But yeah. So anyway, so any thoughts on just signage? Like, do you think it's worth it, or do you think it's just?
I absolutely.
We're
I
getting
mean,
signage anyways to put
Okay.
up, so I mean, we could add that verbiage in.
that was
Well,
the first
I was
thing.
hoping Conscom would come in tonight too, but it was a last minute request. Oh, are you guys here? Oh, yay. Oh, Dennis, you're there. Who else is? Okay.
Sam?
Okay, perfect. And Sam.
I'm here. Hi.
Yeah, sorry, I've got to get better at looking at the Zoom. So what are your thoughts on the conservation trails? Because, I mean, I've seen it, and if I'm a kid, I would probably do it too, but I'm not a kid.
There's not much we can do beyond what Matt's proposing. I will say on some of the conservation parcels, what we do for, or what has been done for trails is like a low chain.
There you go. Oh, you froze. I don't know if it's us or you.
We lost him. Okay.
Oh, man.
Would the low chain be a liability? Is there would that be a liability for the low chain if somebody tripped on it?
There used to be one at the end. Well, there is still one actually
Yeah,
at
but
the
it-
entrance to Patch Hill. There's been a chain there my whole life, pretty much, just because it only lets the tractors in.
Yeah, but
So-
I don't want a kid in the bike getting a chain in the throat.
Well, it hangs pretty low. So,
So
Sam, you froze. Finish your thought. Sorry.
There are accessibility concerns, obviously, for a chain. It's not an ideal solution. It's also pretty unsightly. But it's something that's done on a couple parcels, Rolling Meadows for one. I don't know if it would be a solution for Liberty, but maybe at Pfeiffer's, where the access for this vehicle would be very small,
Okay.
might be a solution.
So the other issue with the chain is if you're looking at Liberty, the far left corner, that access right there, there's no fencing or anything like that. So if we put two posts in a chain there, what's going to stop people from going around it? I mean, that's
It's a visual cue.
right,
Yeah.
right.
It's a
But
visual
that's
cue.
the issue is because that land is so open. Like,
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
that
I don't.
probably won't
I
work.
think it's more of a viable solution for Pfeiffer's, not for Liberty. And obviously, an ATV can get between the boulders the entire length of the field at Liberty anyway.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
We added extra boulders to the left side of Liberty Fields
Right.
to try to prevent people from driving out there because there are always just some people that don't understand and, oh, I'm just dropping stuff off. I'm going to drive out there and drive back.
I'm gonna pick my kid up and feel
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
No, that's not happening. But I mean, we can put signage up. That's not necessarily a bad idea, but
Okay.
putting signs up don't stop people from going and doing things. I mean, if they're there for a reason. So I mean,
Right.
we can look into from a Reccom standpoint to see if we have any money left over from the renovations after everything is done, to see if we can put some of that money towards the cameras to kind of help offset the cost. So that way we can have something maybe a little bit more permanent there that will withstand, this lovely New England weather, and we don't have to worry about moving it or charging it or something like that.
Sure. Okay. Well, keep us posted, and consider this a, anybody watching now, later, whenever. If
Don't
you
do
do
it.
see anything like that happening, call the police and let them know. So at least we know what's going on out there. And if you know anybody with an ATV or a motorized scooter or whatnot, maybe put a bug in their ear that they're not supposed to be doing that. So.
We'll continue all the patrols. I mean, I don't want to say in a way it's a policy decision if you want cameras on your fields. We can do it. We have the infrastructure set up, meaning we have other cameras in town and we can add them. It will be a significant expenditure, but it certainly can be done. Are we at that level? Have we seen that sort of destruction? I mean, I don't think we have.
Right.
Not yet, but again, you also made a big investment, like Matt said, and you want to protect that investment. So I can get those numbers if you want to get them
I
on
think we should get that.
the
What
extra.
would the board like?
So I'm wondering if maybe a cheaper alternative is kind of performance security, where you just put up a sign that says this area is under video surveillance by the police. No motorized vehicles on the field. People are gonna be like, oh, because like you go places and you see like the blue lights, like they have like blue lights and they put those out in Sacramento. Some of those cameras work, some don't, and so it's not like. It's one way to do it with trying to discourage it, because people will say, oh, okay, I didn't know that, and it's just one sign, rather than getting the cameras, and then you can say, if it does continue, then put cameras out there because you've warned people that there is video surveillance of the fields.
That's a good way to start.
No, I think we should, right, I think we should put the signs up now, or in the process of ordering them, and at the same time, just get a quote on what the cameras would cost, that's all.
Sure. Sam, you got your hand up. Jump in.
I would just say I actually think this is a little bit bigger of a problem than the chief has articulated here. We get complaints all the time about motorized vehicles on different parcels. Flag Hill, especially, as the chair mentioned, you see it all the time. I don't know if the chief got a report, but there was another incident of people doing donuts and damaging the grass in January when it was particularly wet at Flara. I know, obviously, Liberty isn't a conservation parcel, but if there were any sort of broader town-wide initiatives, I would be interested in participating and supporting that. This is not, in my opinion, not isolated to Liberty. Yeah.
'Cause I mean,
So I almost wonder if we need to reach out to abutters and invite them to call the police if they see anyone in the field. Because Flara is wide open, and everybody on Stowe Road should be able to see right in there, especially in the winter.
Yep.
I could be better about when I see kids out in the Patch Hill, just saying, hey, they're out here, even just awareness about it. But
Well, is it being done during the day, or is it being done at 10 o'clock at night?
I've seen them during the day on weekends.
Oh.
because I mean, if you put the sign up and says this trail is under video surveillance or whatever, they don't know where it is.
Yeah,
Like, where
that's
they're
true.
gonna-
Yeah.
I think the signs are a great idea. I mean, with that language, I think that's a great idea.
What do you think?
I think it's start with the signs. But I do like the idea of the investment was very significant at Liberty Fields. Not just for the fields, but all that equipment that's out
Yeah.
there too. So I don't think it's a bad idea to have a motion detector camera that doesn't need to be monitored all the time, but it just goes on when, when somebody's out there
After hours.
or something, I think that's.
Yeah. What's running through my head is if something were to happen on the playground during the day, it might not be a bad thing to have cameras there, but I also didn't know how I'd feel with my kids being videoed.
Well,
while
that's
they're
why I
playing.
asked it.
Yeah,
can
like
we
it's
do
like,
it?
That's why, as a policy decision, if you
Yeah.
want it to be videotaped at all time, and we can go ahead and get the numbers. I can work with Ed. We can work on getting estimates. Maybe start with the signage, and then if you want to
Okay.
go down that road, but it will be substantial. I mean, I don't think as much as what we just had to pay to get all the cameras redone around the department and the cell and the holding cell and everything we did there, but it will be significant, I'm assuming.
Kristen,
Okay.
the idea was like maybe 4 cameras at most at
Sure.
Liberty, 2, one at each of the front entrances, one in the back corner by the trail, and then one at the other corner on the shed by the baseball fields, because people could go through Lombardo or however, really, and just having 4 corners, being able to see that might
Yep.
deter somebody from doing something without feeling like their privacy is kind of being
'cause
I like that
Pushed
they
idea.
also make fake trail cameras, just
Yeah.
so you know.
Except if you tell people they're fake, Wes, then they know they're
But you
fake.
don't tell
just
them
like the fake
Security
wolves
Oh, the
at
coyote,
Applewood.
the fake coyote. That catches me every time I get to go down 111. I'm like, oh my god, that's fake. No.
It gets old real quick.
I think the geese don't know. Sam, you have any other thoughts?
No, I appreciate you having me, and
No,
thank
thanks
you.
for coming. All right. Okay. All right. So the director from the board is, let's put some numbers together. Let's look at signage. And I actually do like the idea of cameras in the 4 corners, because if they don't come in that way, they're coming through the poison ivy. And
Right.
Life will suck.
Because
a
there's
week
the
later.
trail at the soccer side, there's a trail by the baseball
Yeah,
side.
and poison ivy all around it. So yeah.
All right, we'll work on some numbers. I'll work with Ed, work on some numbers for cameras, and we'll start with the signs, as Matt's already been working on.
Awesome. Thank you. I'm sorry it happened.
Is what
Thanks,
it is,
Matt.
right? Yeah, thank you.
All right, thank you. Have a great rest of your nights. Okay, next up, Operation Safe Streets 2024, post-operation report. Who's got that one?
Chief does.
Oh, you're up, John. I don't even know why you sat down.
So I sent this to you, to the board last week. Do we?
You want to put
Is
it
it
up
going to
there,
go
John?
up on the board? or-
Kelly's-
Oh, Kelly's doing it, sorry.
Just
I'm
wanted to
sorry,
give an
Kelly.
update.
That was very sexist of me.
Back in April, we stated how we're going to do a Safe Streets initiative in May and June. We thought it was a really good time to do it with things like graduation, prom, end of the school year. And again, one of the things we heard at the Strengthening Police and Community Partnership Program, although a lot of it was upon relationships with the police, also a lot of conversation came up about more enforcement, speed. That did come up in conversation. It wasn't maybe the main part of that program, but certainly a lot of residents brought that forward. So we did an enforcement initiative in May and June. We, if you want to go to, just read it. As previously released by Boxborough Police Department, traffic enforcement patrols increased in the months of May and June in order to combat unsafe driving on our streets. Enforcement included, but certainly was not limited to, speeding, stop sign and red light violations, school bus stop sign violations, crosswalk violations, aggressive and distracted driving, driving under the influence, and safe bicycle operation. A lot of this was done right outside the school zone. We had multiple days out there where we had a heavy presence. Our top three offenses over the 2 months were, without fail, speeding was our number one violation, 146 stops for speeding, 87 were warnings, and 59 citations. Again, a citation doesn't necessarily mean a ticket. It could also mean a written citation that is now currently in Massachusetts documented. So doesn't necessarily mean the person got a ticket, but it was cited on there.
So that's a written warning.
It's a written warning. It's really a written citation. It gets a little confusing now.
Right.
At the end, so that's why, you know, the end number, there weren't as many, citations are kind of put both ways, written citation and an actual civil citation.
Okay.
So they both fall under there. Stop sign violations was the second most violation that we, 51 stops for stop sign violations, 32 were given verbal warnings, and again, 19 citations, either a ticket or a written warning, texting and driving.
Quick question. Was there any particular area for stop signs? Because I think of a stop sign like being a teacher. If everybody failed, that means there might be something wrong with my teaching. So if there was one particular sign people were blowing through, and you don't have to answer now, you could look into it. You know, is there a lack of visibility? Is there a tree hanging in front of it? You know, again, I didn't ask you ahead of time, so you can tell me later.
Sounds good. You know, the biggest thing with an enforcement issue like this, with a little more, education, and a lot of it is you just don't know the answer, but we're happy that there were no major crashes, no high school senior got in a car accident, no kid, coming home from school. So again, it's one of the things you currently really quantify. You don't really know what would have happened, but this is why we do it, and especially the time of the year, a lot of departments pick May and June, the end of the school year, when people have been inside, they're outside, they're on the sidewalks, the kids are out. And so I think overall it was really good in that regard. You don't necessarily always know what you stop. This wasn't about just giving out tickets. Actually, I think only there were 31 actual written citations where people got tickets. So a lot of it were warnings, a lot of it was education, but I think that's important to note. We had, although 2 month period, it's just interesting data. 20 crashes were over that 2 month period, 13 on town roads, 7 on the highway. 1 bicycle, 1 motorcycle accident. And again, this initiative resulted in 6 different arrests. 3 were for OUIs. We had 3 different individuals driving while intoxicated. 2 had warrants, and then 1 other offense. So the numbers are on the back page there. But I think overall it was we had 15 different shifts in addition to the regular shifts that the officers concentrated on motor vehicle enforcement. We had 15 additional shifts, generally on the weekends, generally a Memorial Day weekend. Again, I said prom, graduation, times like that. Overall, I think it was a good initiative. No major accidents over this 2-month period. And, we'll continue to do this year round. But certainly, certain times of the year, probably something we'll do again next year.
It absolutely floors me that the number 1 area for vehicle stops is the school zone. 94 stops in a school zone. What did
Well, that's
people
also
not
where
get?
we were at there a lot. I mean, we're there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, quite a few texting and driving, going
Oh.
through the school zone, speeding, of course. But
I love this. I love the sign. Smile, you're on radar. And again, you must be texting because you don't see that as you're going to the school zone, right?
We did get the one of the speed machines came in. It's been deployed. I know a few months ago when I was here, that was one of the directives to get a new a speed machine, one that's more can be transported different places. We've had it all over town. Not the big trailer, but one that gets posted up. So we've had that a lot on Hill Road, different places over by we're going on Stowe Road over to the camp now in the summertime. We did apply, Lieutenant Patriarca just got the information in a couple weeks ago for a grant to get a few more of those. So hopefully
Great.
we'll get approved for that. We won't know till the fall, but he did get all the paperwork in to apply for a grant to get a few more of those. And they give us good data, but they also, they slow people down because you look at it and you say, oh my gosh, what am I, I'm
Well,
going
when you
a
get
little
the
too
sad
fast.
face, yeah.
Yeah. So.
All right, sounds good. No, I think Stowe Road definitely is a little scary with Flora when everyone's streaming in and out at 9 and noon and kids are on bikes and walking. It definitely is a little frightening right there because it's so narrow and windy.
Chief, before you go on this page, I have a question. One of the last, actually the very last row, Interstate 495, are we making stops on 495? It says vehicle stops, that's why I was just questioning. You got 27.
Where are you?
Their bottom row, 495, Route 2, bottom left number,
Yeah.
27.
Show me up here. Where are you looking?
Bottom
The
left.
last line, the last line in the spreadsheet.
Yeah, Interstate 27 stops. Occasionally, sometimes enforcement with truck enforcement.
We can stop cars on
Specifically,
495?
yeah, they can stop cars on the highway. They're not out there every day, but if
Okay.
they see some, that's not like a patrol area.
Right.
But if they see something out there, absolutely, or help a trooper out there if a trooper's out there. But no, they're not out there doing patrol on a routine basis.
I mean, if it's an accident and they cite them, that's.
And we go out there quite a bit. Usually, we're the first ones out there on an accident.
Yeah, right, so, you're right, an accident I get,
Yep.
but I was wondering, are we pulling speeders over on 495?
No, not generally.
Well, that's why I was wondering what that was, yeah. When, vehicle stops, that's why.
At the yeah. And then when they come off on the highway, mainly truck enforcement would be the most, or if they're getting off the exit ramp right there.
Okay.
So that would quantify if they're on the exit ramp over there. But no, we're not spending a lot of time on the highway. But certainly we're out there probably more than we want to be as the first responder.
No, right, and I get it for accidents, I was just wondering, are we patrolling out there?
Any other questions on this?
So, Chief, of all the folks, the percentage of people that are there, with the exception of the highway, are they mostly residents, or are they people coming through the town? Or?
No, that's not, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
You don't know.
it is. I mean, I don't want to put a percentage on it, but
Yeah, okay.
it is. It's our own residents sometimes, of
Yeah.
course, that are violating. But it's not all the time. I mean, people do use. I mean, the main road to get from. They're getting to Harvard and to Acton, or it's not all residents, but certainly it is. It is our own residents at time. I mean,
Okay.
that's. And again, we give a lot of warnings out, but again, there are times that if you have, since warnings are put in the system now, and you can see them, if a person has 5 or 6 or 7, written warning citations, and they're in there, there are times they were given a ticket. And again, I think we had 31 actual civil citations, again, over that 2-month period. So we're not out there trying to, get money from our residents, but there is a time that people sometimes do get a ticket.
This is about safety, yeah. Any other questions or comments for the chief?
One more question. When I was going over toward Florida the other day, I noticed that the one on the side there, the trailer one, it wasn't working. Is it sometimes parked there without working, or is it?
It shouldn't be. I'll take a look
solar-powered?
at it. If it was not working, it should be. I mean, it was actually, we just got a battery replaced in one of them. So I
Okay.
can,
Maybe
it
that
should
was-
be up. If it was
maybe
down,
that was the
we'll
one.
make sure it's back up. No, they're generally working. We've been more on the portable one is easier to get around now. So that one we've had more, but we'll make sure we take a look at it. You said this was today or yesterday? Or?
No, it was last week, I think, when I was going out that way.
Okay.
But I saw it there and it wasn't working, and it's like, okay, well, that's good, but it's not working.
We've had the speed trailer, quite a few neighborhoods, quite a few roads. We've had it even like Applewood, places like that. That we've had good relationships with the association and put it there for a few days. So it's mainly on our main roads, but certainly on some other private roads as well.
Sounds
Okay.
good.
Thank you.
Kelly, do you want to go to the next page? And then below up, are you interested in submitting a request for targeted enforcement in your neighborhood? If you could just make that big, so if you do, is it still applicable? If people want to ask for some help, they can still email Phil?
Yep, absolutely. One of the and if you go on the website now, it's a fillable form. It comes right to us.
Ah.
You don't have to print it out anymore or print it out and send it to us. It's printable. They can go right in there, fill it out, and we'll get it, and we'll set up a time to deploy it in that area. So that same thing for house checks now. If you're on vacation and you want your house to be checked, you can go right on there. No more printing out the form and sending it into us or whatnot. Just go right in there, fillable form online. We'll get it, and we'll make sure officers are, if you're on vacation, driving by your house and whatnot. So all the forms are now fillable online.
Okay. Okay, only because you just brought that up. Did you get a phone call about mail being taken out of mailboxes?
I did not.
Someone
I-
probably did. Well, again, public safety or public service announcement. On Hill Road, someone is taking mail out of mailboxes because we're finding opened envelopes with stuff taken out of it, like thrown at Liberty Field, actually. So, so there's probably going to be, they wouldn't call you, they would have called dispatch. But I know that's happening because our neighborhood email just went out today about that happening.
I will certainly check tonight, first thing in the morning,
Yeah.
if we've had any calls on that. It has not gotten to me.
Right.
So I don't know if we have.
No, I didn't mean to put you on the spot.
May
I
have-
got the email today.
It may
and-
have we may
Yeah.
have over the weekend, maybe there was one, but I did not see that yet. But certainly I'll make the officers aware of that.
Yeah. So, yeah. All right. Okay. Anything else for the chief?
Just thanks, we appreciate.
Yeah, it was
You
a
guys
good,
doing that.
thank you. It was a good initiative, really was. And the only way you can quantify success is we didn't have any major accident
Yeah.
around that time of year, which you certainly never want to have a high school senior, and people are rushing that time of year, and with the better weather and celebrations and whatnot. So from that regard, I was really happy with it.
Thank you. Awesome. Way to go.
Thanks, thank you.
All right. We are running 5 minutes early. This is just a weird night. Wow. All right.
That weird.
Wow. Okay, only because we did tell everyone the fire station appointments are at 7:45. Why don't we go ahead and do minutes? If that's all right. Did everyone have a chance to read the minutes?
Yeah, I do.
Do our resident grammarians have
No,
anything?
I have no comments.
What?
Yep, no comments.
Huh?
No comments.
Wow. All righty then. All right, then I'll entertain a motion.
I'll move to accept the minutes of the meeting on July 8th, 2024,
As presented.
as presented.
Is there? Awesome, Priya seconded it. Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, that is unanimous, thank you. We're still 4 minutes early. Do we have, any update? I mean, it's only been a week. How much could have possibly happened in a week, right?
In the past week or two, we did receive 7 qualification packages from owner's project manager applicants, and those are here. And we're gonna have a set of these for each of the members that you appoint to the committee this evening.
Wow.
And they can, the committee members can pick them up from Rajan or myself either this evening or tomorrow. Also, we took the liberty of scheduling the committee's first meeting on Wednesday night, not knowing who's going to be appointed or whether they would be ready to meet
available, right.
that soon. But we figured if we wait a day or two, they need another 48 hours to post, so we posted something. So the committee could first meet here at 7 o'clock Wednesday evening. Unless they decide that's not possible, then we'll post it whenever and wherever they would like.
So it's proactive. Yes.
Yes,
Perfect.
Kelly
I love
did
it.
that.
Thank you, Cal. Rajan, what are you up to?
So, on the hiring front, we've extended 2 offers for the associate town planner and then for the department assistant position. We're awaiting just confirmation from both of those candidates. And we also advertised for the following internally for the human services director, and then we externally for the recreation services coordinator position.
Wow.
So those are going to be our next round of hires. Also, we sent out the contract for the school transportation for the vocational schools. So we sent that contract out last week to the company that essentially won the bid. And we did a site walk last week of Boxborough Meadows for the list of roofs that need to be replaced over there. And then on this Wednesday, we're opening the bids for the Boxborough Meadows project. And I think this week we're also advertising the roof, the library roof replacement project as well for the library.
So whatever happened to us looking into whether the association could be reimbursed for roof replacement? Was that not something we can do?
It was not,
It's not legal?
no.
Okay. It was an
There-
idea.
There were a couple of things we looked into, questions that come up at the housing board meeting that you and I attended. One was about prevailing wages, and we are bound to
Of
pay
course,
prevailing wages, and we can't reimburse. We have to actually go through the bid process.
Okay. All right, it is what it is.
Yeah.
All right, sounds good. If anybody wants more information about the Boxborough Meadow roof replacement, that's a housing board initiative, and I'm spacing on the name of the REFT? No. What's the
Hope.
Hope, thank you, the Hope program. But I think, is there more information on the website, or if people are curious?
I
they can
mean,
reach out?
we put the bid out, so if you want to look at the bid, it's on the active bids and proposals
Active
pages.
bids and proposals, okay. All right, sounds good.
Kristen?
Yeah.
Rajan, you mentioned that you put a bid out for the school buses for the vocational schools. Is that all of them, or is that just Minuteman, or what was that?
So the schools that we we typically contract for is Assabet, Neshoba, and Minuteman. So any other schools we typically, so the tough part about with any other vocational schools is a lot of times we don't hear about it unless they reach out to us directly or the district reaches out to us directly,
Okay.
because we're not member schools, so we kind of get viewed as an afterthought. So if there is a student that has either been accepted or plans on going to those schools, we need the school to reach out to us directly.
No,
instead-
but you did Minuteman, Assabet, and Neshoba?
yeah,
So that was the quote you asked for those three districts? Okay, great. Thank
and
you.
only actually 2 schools. We don't have any students currently going to Neshoba. We have 1 student going to Assabet and 3 students going to Minuteman.
Oh, did you confirm that it would be 3 students?
Yeah, it's 3 students. They are, because last week also coordinated with our transportation on making sure that we have the addresses so they can do the pickups for the buses.
Are the buses coming to Boxborough from Minuteman? Are they stopping in West Acton?
So the bus, that's a separate company from the school. So we contract with D Bus Service, so they handle all of our transportation. So it's not through the show, but it's through the transportation company. So that's separate from the vocational schools. That's the contract we have with them independently.
Okay.
So I think you were asking about Minimax. I thought at the last meeting, the family you spoke to thought they would be driving their kids to West Acton to get the bus.
Right, exactly.
But now maybe they're not going to be driving their kids to West Acton to get a bus. We're going to get them a bus.
Yeah. So the bus that we have, it's through D
Through
Bus.
D, yeah,
So
they're great.
what I normally do is work with D to get the addresses for the students, and then they'll pick the students up from their address and take them to and from school.
Okay.
Good. That'd be great.
And I also reached out to our transportation company and asked because we budgeted for for 2 students instead of 3. So I asked them for like an updated price on how much it'll be for us to do 3 students instead of 2, because I know we budget for 2 students. So I'm just waiting on that price from them as well for Minuteman.
Maria, did FinCom have a chance to talk? Can someone pass them? Oh, look at you. All right.
I know where
Oh,
to sit.
that's very cool of you. That's very Roger Daltrey of you. Okay. That wasn't a compliment. Wait, somebody more attractive. Hold on.
What?
Well, the microphone like that.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, okay, ready? I mean, you're gonna make me stand up, Kane, everything?
no,
Okay.
No, I
So
want
listen,
to Roger Daltrey. Go ahead.
we talked about it, and what we decided was that we didn't know at the time, because it was the next day, and Rajon hadn't had time to verify. So we are going to just fund it. Once we were able to verify exactly how many students were at Minuteman and what the transportation and the costs were going to be, if we go back to a fall town meeting or potentially winter, whatever, if we need to, we would add to the tuition, because these kids are freshmen, so we would add to that budget line, but probably add out of free cash.
Okay.
So, but we were waiting, so at our next meeting in August, Rajon can give us an update, or Mike can give us an update, and then we'll go from there.
All right.
And when I
beautiful.
reached out to the bus company, I copied Tony on it as well. So
Perfect. Kelly, you got anything?
I have one other
Oh,
note
Mike.
on,
Sure.
speaking of vocational schools, based on the vote that you made at your previous meeting, as far as joining Neshoba Tech, Rajon did reach out to them, sent a letter to the superintendent, and received confirmation that they got it. So that's step 1 for us. Step 2 to us will be at a future town meeting to take a vote of the town with the intention to join the school. And then the next, or the third step after that will be for each of the member communities to vote at their town meetings to accept us.
Okay. So just out of curiosity, I know it was the select board that has to initiate contact. Who would then be going to the town to say we'd like to join? Is that select board or school committee?
Select board.
Okay. All right.
and when the superintendent contacted us, they said that their school committee isn't meeting this month, so they'll bring the intent letter to their school committee in their meeting in August.
Okay, sounds good. All right, well, now we're 5 minutes late, so this just feels much better.
I
So
just
we'll get
have
to committee reports.
One question
Oh, sure.
for
Oh, yeah,
Rajon.
go ahead.
How many open positions do we have now? I know we are in the process of hiring a couple of.
Open positions at this point, I think it's the recreation position, and then it's the human services, which is a promotion. It's not an open position, but
Nothing in police?
police is
nothing-
fully staffed once the 2 officers graduate.
Nice.
And our fire chief started this Monday, so we're
Perfect.
staffed at fire as well.
So the plan that Rajon and I talked about this morning, after the new fire chief, John Kivlin, started this morning, was that once we get the recreation coordinator on board, we're locking the doors and not letting anybody leave. Because then we are fully staffed.
I know.
We talked about that.
We look forward to inviting John in to come in and meet us again, now that he's all sworn in, and, yeah, we'll look forward to seeing him at a future meeting. Good.
We're swearing him in, I believe, at 11 o'clock tomorrow, time to be confirmed. That'll be very informal downstairs, but then there'll be a more formal swearing in once his dress blues arrive.
Ah.
And then he can invite family and do it up here in a more formal
I
fashion.
would love to meet him and his family. That would be great if we could do it here. That would be amazing. Lovely. Did we have you come in your dress, please? I don't remember anymore. Okay. No, I wasn't here. That's why. I wasn't a select person then. Okay. Off the hook. All right. Awesome. All right. Now, let's move on to probably the biggest thing we've got to do tonight, and that's working on the fire station building committee appointments. So this is how we're going to roll this out. Mike is going to explain the process that we went through. And, one of the things that were really important to this board is that, first of all, we were humbled, honored by the number of people that volunteered. Absolutely amazing. A few people did withdraw once they found out what the commitment was going to be. We still had 3 people withdrew, so we had 21.
Yes. 21 altogether.
So what was really important is that this board took the time to go through all the information, and when we did, and Michael kind of explained the process that we went through. And then what's going to happen is, well, let's start with that. Go ahead, let's start with that.
So 24 applicants, we asked people to make their intention known to the select board by the 1st of July, which they all did. Out of the 24, 3 are board members, so 1 is a FinCom member, 2 are select board members, and we had 3 that withdrew, bringing us down to, I think that leaves us with 18 or so.
It was a good sized folder.
And those were applicants for the at-large 5 other positions. So I shared that information with the select board, and then at their last meeting, they decided that what they want to do was send each of their top 5 candidate choices based on some metrics that I'll share with you in a minute. And then I was to compile those and bring those this evening, which I did. The competencies that were included in a matrix that was sent to each of the select board members were technical experience, community understanding, proven leadership, communication skills, interpersonal skills, and public engagement skills. And those 6 categories were drawn from a number of sources. Here in the room, actually, a week ago, with the discussion, Lee Slade was here. Those first 3 competencies came from him, as well as Tim provided some input, and I believe Mark Marlowe was joining us by Zoom. He gave some input, and I drew from those as well as some of my own experience to put this together. Mark is one of the 3 that has since withdrawn based on his ability to commit the amount of time that was discussed. So with that, I compiled all of the aggregate input that was sent up through today from the 5 select board members, and came up with a short list of 7 finalists for you to discuss this evening. And if you would go ahead and put that spreadsheet up on the board. And this was individuals that got the highest number of rankings from the aggregate of the board. And then the challenge now is to take, well, let me first say that of the applicants, I think that choosing 5 or 7 highly qualified individuals is not the challenge. The challenge is in who not to choose, because there are so many highly capable, qualified, dedicated individuals who are willing to donate their time. I have reached out to all of the applicants and asked them to please, knowing several weeks ago that there was going to be at least a dozen or more people that were not going to be selected for this committee, and asked them to please consider service on one of the other many committees, some of them technically oriented, some of them more community service oriented, but I hope that folks will consider that, and that was the wishes of the board that I'm conveying. Anyways, these are the 7 names that that had the highest amount of indication from the board members. So the challenge now is to cast votes, have a discussion, and come down to 5 names out of the 7. so that you can form your committee.
All right, so does anybody have any questions or comments about how the short list was developed? I can't see if anyone's hands are up on Zoom.
Can we show the Zoom?
No hands.
No hands, okay. So this is what we're gonna do now. We're gonna run through the list. Now, you know, again, these are the people that wound up with the highest number of votes from each select board. We each had to send 5 names, and this is the tally. So now what we're gonna do is run through this list. This is a chance for all of us to advocate, express your thoughts, you know, of whatever about each candidate. Then I'm gonna give everyone a piece of paper, and you're gonna write down the 5 candidates you'd like to appoint. And we're gonna pass them down to Rajan. He's gonna put it into here, and this will be public. He's gonna put it up in here, and basically the 5 people that get the most votes are on the board. Mike and I talked about this. We've been agonizing over it. It's a wonderful problem to have, but it's so hard to choose. So this just seemed to be the most fair way to do it, and also so that everybody on the board had a chance to weigh in too. So there's no particular order. This is not ranked. This is just the list of 7. So Joan is in the top spot there. Does anybody have anything, you know?
And top being not by rank, but just,
Alphabetical.
it's alphabetical.
Alphabetical, right, meaning on the top of the list. It's not ranked, the top of the list. And I'm happy to start. Joan, I will just say, was one of the people that I had tallied as I thought she'd be a great addition for a lot of things. Her, you know, first of all, she's on the Board of Trustees of Sheriff's Meadow, and I know that community is very, very concerned about what's going to be happening with the fire station. So I love the idea of having somebody on the Board of Trustees, which means she's already known and trusted by her community, being part of the process to learn and convey information back. That and also her experience on the MAPC. To me, that means she has technical experience, she knows how to work within the community, you know, leadership to communication, interpersonal, all of that kind of wraps in with Joan. So that is the reason that I had put her as one of my 5. Does anybody else have any?
I would add to that, I think it's 30 years with the MAPC.
Yeah.
By the way, and she also worked on the open spaces study that was done here in Boxborough. So she's got history with Boxborough as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and she was one of my choices as well. I think it was appropriate for, like, given the sites, there are 3 sites that are in Massab where we don't have too many neighbors, but there's one site, obviously, on Stowe Road. I think, like, she will represent
The Stowe Road neighbors, not
The
just
Stowe-
Sheriff's Meadow?
yeah, you know, so I think it's important.
And
And
she's
her
right.
background, and, like, I had a conversation with her over the weekend too, and
Mhm.
just her approach and willing to look at things factually was very key in my decision.
Great. Any further discussion? All right, the next person on the list is Mary Brolin. Does anybody want to?
I will start. I think Mary Brolin pretty much got us through the finish line for us when we had to go and present in front of the town about even like getting the OPM in place. She has great knowledge in terms of like being the chair for the Boardwalk campus and just knowing the process and she's well respected in town. I think it's important to have someone with credibility that we could have in the board. So she was one of my top choices.
Yeah, I'll jump in. Mary was one of my choices too. I think her experience with the school has really added a lot. She as they've said, she's gone through the process, and I think her communication skills are excellent. We've seen Mary speak at town meetings in the past, and she spoke again at this town meeting, and I thought she did a great job with conveying her thoughts and what was good for the town. And I think her experience with the school really adds a lot to it, and I would like to see her on this committee.
I agree with that, all these statements made, and I would also add, she's the chair of the library committee as well. That's the
The Board of Trustees.
Board of
trustees,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, she has a lovely way of team building, because I know that's important to me, is that the building committee work as a team. They don't have to agree, but they have to be a team. Any other thoughts? All right, moving on to Larry Grossman.
I'll start. Larry was one of my choices. I thought he presents well. He's got strong experience with this. This is what he does for work, and he was on the prior committee. And I thought some prior knowledge on the new committee would add value to this. So that's why I had Larry as one of my choices. I think he brings the experience from the old committee. He brings experience from his work, and he's well respected in town.
Yeah, no, I agree. Larry was always well prepared, and at the end of the previous board, he did a good job pulling the board together.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I also picked Larry just because of his, along with what Sam with Bob has, his extensive experience, and also he can bring not a different perspective, but he's also brought a lot of stuff like Mary through town meetings and that kind of stuff, and so he knows some of the dynamics around that as well.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why I thought he was a good addition as well.
So I agree with all those statements, but I didn't choose Larry because I think there was a lot of hesitation about whether or not he wanted to do it. So I think in terms of trying to get people that are on the committee, it's important that I'm really looking for the people who were all in up front.
I would
for
just
example,
agree with that because even at Pfeiffer's Day, he flagged down at least me to talk to me and express his interest. So
yeah, when I was sitting at a table and there was a conversation between him and Mark about whether or not they were going to be going for the committee, and it's like I didn't stick around for that conversation because I didn't. I wanted to let them have that conversation, but that's I think compared to some others, I didn't see that that drive from Larry that I would have hoped.
Okay. Any other input? Gary Kushner.
He was one of my choices. Gary has been involved in our town for a long, long time. He has been chair for FinCom, and he was also in the previous building committee, so he brings some historic knowledge from there.
Mm-hmm.
And he's also his attention to details. He's pretty good with those, and he also builds the team. He's a team builder, so I think he will be a good addition to the team, to the committee. That's my take with Gary.
And, I'll jump in. Gary was one of my choices as well, and I think if he ditto everything you just said, that, but he's been on the FinCom. He's been working. He was the note taker, the clerk of the FinCom for recently, and he's extremely well versed and well detail oriented. And as you just said, I'm just repeating you. He was on the prior building committee, and so again, he could bring some history knowledge coming forward. So.
Do you want?
So, I guess the reason why I didn't pick Gary, not because he's not qualified, but I was looking at what would be the probable composition. And so, if he's literally just coming off the FinCom, I was looking at developing more of a diverse set of perspective, and not like they're nominating somebody, and in my head, I think at this point everybody associates Gary with the FinCom, for better or worse.
Yeah,
That's
poor
not
Gary. Poor
not
Gary.
a
He's
bad
like at a
thing,
hat with
and
an
it's
F
not-
on it. Yeah.
It's not a bad thing. Like, he is everything that you guys said, but I was just looking to do a more diverse total committee of the remaining 5 because we're now appointing one FinCom and one select board member. And so that's kind of where I was coming from, not like discrediting for any qualifications at all. But we have a lot of that was also the board's interest, or at least my understanding of it, was to bring in varied perspectives. So that's kind of, sorry, Gary, if you're listening.
No, I'm going to echo that, Wes, because I did the same thing. When I looked at the composition of the group, I thought, okay, Maria's been brought forward by the FinCom. she and Gary have a very similar resume. They've both been on previous building committees. They both understand the process. And so the word I wrote down was duplicative to Maria, which is probably a little strong. But same thing. I thought if we can only pick 5 people, we probably ought to have different skill sets. So Gary, please know. Well, there's no shade on anybody that didn't make the list. There's people with so many great skill sets. But in terms of this, I just felt like Maria's going to kind of cover those bases.
Because I was looking at it as if Mary Brolin and Gary were on the committee along with Maria.
Well, Maria,
And
Mary,
they're not,
Gary,
like,
yeah.
I'm not saying that they're equivalent, but I was trying to balance. Like, it's not easy. Like, I hate this.
I hate
if
this
I'm
too.
being honest, like, it's just if you're trying to bring like the very diverse perspectives, like that's just
Yeah. No, I think we all.
Yeah, and I had a similar thought about Gary. I didn't, of the top 5, Gary wasn't one of the ones I picked because like you said, we had somebody from the FinCom representing it, and I do think of Gary as kind of like the financial conscience of the town.
Absolutely
he's
is.
just all
Yeah.
he's all over a lot of what's going on in the town, and I really appreciate that. But but I also picked 2 people that were on the school building committee, and so I kind of had that covered. It's kind of what Wes was saying. So I'm not saying I'm not going to put his name down tonight, but because one of the people that I picked was not among the list, but I think there's a point to be made about the diversity on the board.
Okay. All right, next person, Sarah Lovato. So I have to say, what I liked about Sarah was not only her resume and her background, but the fact that she was at Viper's Day. She stopped at the booth. She was interested. She learned, and then she put up her hand. And reading her background, on what she's done, and wanted to volunteer. When I put all of that together, I just thought, okay, this is someone that I want to bring in, and have her join the team, so to speak. But
No, I agree with everything you said, and Dave, to your point, enthusiasm. I mean, she jumped out of the gate with contacting us and saying, "I want to be on this committee. This is why I should be on this committee." She's got enthusiasm up the wazoo. I mean, it's just she's got really
up the wazoo. Okay.
I think she's got a lot of enthusiasm. I think her experience is spot on, and I just really like having Sarah on this, hopefully on this committee.
And she also managed very large projects
Yep.
and very
She does.
expensive projects at the same time.
Yep.
So and simultaneously, so she definitely has some great talent.
Well, she does.
Yep. Any further comments? No? All right, next, and I hope I'm saying this right, Eric McNeves?
Mitch Nevez, I think.
Mitch Neves? I'm so sorry. I'm not sure.
I may have
it's
it.
mission of it.
Mitch Neves, sorry. Okay, Mitch Neves. Same thing. I know that he worked with Mike and Lee to put together the OPM job description and help get all that out. He's got the experience. He's got the technical background. He raised his hand to participate in that. So for that reason, he was one of the people that I pushed forward in my list. But anybody else?
That was one other thing. Larry did help with that as well, the OPM proposal.
Oh,
So
I don't think
that's
I knew
why-
that. Larry helped with the
Yeah, so that
OPM
was the
also?
other reason
Yeah,
why
it was
I just
actually
you reminded me.
Larry, Eric, Lee, Rajon, myself.
I'm sorry, I missed people. Okay.
Yeah, and Jason.
And Jason, okay. All right. Any other thoughts?
Yeah, well, he's an engineer, so I think he certainly has that the capability to provide the technical
background.
aspects to that. He's just he also one of the things that is different about Eric compared to a lot of is there were 2 different recommendations from other people about you should have this guy on the
That's true.
on the committee. Lee had recommended him, as well as John Markowitz. So it's like, okay, so it's not just.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
So that kind of set him apart from me as well.
Okay.
So I've seen him. So I've had the opportunity to see him lead groups and organizations as well, even through like Minuteman when he has organized Pfeiffer's Day in the past, and a few other organizations which he helps out and contributes to as well. I would say he's exceptionally steady, and a good, how do you say this? He doesn't get shaken easily, so
I like that.
it's yeah, and he's very detail oriented,
I like that
like
too.
extremely.
Great.
He was one of my choices as well. I had a conversation with him. I felt like he will be just perfect in terms of not just moving the project along and like stopping where it needs to, and also communicating with the folks in the town in terms of why certain things need to happen. So I think he'll be a good addition.
Awesome. All right. And then last on the list, but no, by no means last, Mac Reed. So, Mac, you've been there, done it. You're representative of different
Yes.
cohorts. You know, honestly, I mean, your resume is pretty amazing. So,
Mac was one of my choices.
Yeah.
He pretty much built all the buildings, I felt like, between the junior high, the high school, the Boardwalk campus, and he's done it multiple times. So you
Right.
couldn't beat the experience that you get from that.
I agree 100% with everything you just said, and I think one of the things, Mac, I'll speak to you, like, please step up if I can speak on this, but, you know, your presentations when you were on those committees was outstanding. I mean, you understand the pulse of Boxborough, you understood the pulse of Acton, you knew what the taxpayers and what the residents wanted for their children and what the towns could afford, and you were able to put that all together, and that is what we're looking for on this team, is someone who understands the residents of Boxborough, who is a resident of Boxborough, and who can appreciate the tax bills that we all have, as well as what the town needs. So I fully endorse you as my choice on this.
all right. Anything? How do you top that?
Yeah, I know.
Did you rehearse that?
Mac's my guy.
All right, okay. All right, so this is what's happening next. So what I'd like you to do is put your name, because this will become part of public records, put your name on the top. Well, it's for Rajan to tally, actually. And write down the five selections, and then pass it back down for Rajan to tally.
If you just put a 1 in each column. Okay, first one. So, starting at the top. 1 for John. 1 for Eric. 1 for Sarah. 1 for Mary. Wes. 1 for John. 1 for Larry. 1 for Sarah. 1 for Eric. And 1 for Mac.
I'm not gonna find it in 2 minutes.
Okay, for David. 1 for John. 1 for Mary. 1 for Sarah. 1 for Eric. 1 for Mac.
While we're
Put
waiting for
Priya's
this,
name on here.
Can we
Okay, for
recognize
Priya,
Tim
Joan.
Yes.
1 for Mary.
for the
Yes.
work that he's done and the fact that he has
One
been
for
in
Eric.
all these,
Yes.
present in these
1
meetings,
for Mac.
and the best dressed guy in the room every time. And
Yes.
he, Tim, you know, you
Okay,
you made
for
that
Bob.
you made the list, but not the top ones. And
for John.
but I just
think
want-
you were like number
But
8.
everybody, you know,
One
I
for
think everybody here
Sarah.
appreciated,
Yes.
you know,
1 for Eric.
who you are, what you
And
do,
one
and
for
what you
Mac.
know. But I guess the difference might be we're more familiar with these other people and in that. So I just want you to, I just want you to know how much I appreciate.
We appreciate you coming to town meeting and participating.
Yeah.
I plan on staying involved. I'd like to see, what's going on with the board.
I'm sorry, could you talk to the?
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Kirby will holler at us.
We just want everyone to hear what you have to say.
Well, with Tally,
Yeah.
I'm not upset. I plan on staying involved because
Good.
this is something that's important. I want to support your firefighters. I want to support your police department. I'd like to see what the board comes up with, the committee comes up with, and review their milestones and different things and see how it's progressing, and if there's something that I can help review as a subject matter expert. I have no problem with that.
Thank you.
I'm trying to get myself involved now that I'm part of this community, and I just want to do what I can do to help. So I'm not upset about it, don't get me wrong. But yeah, I will ask questions of the committee and try to keep things on point and help where I can. So thank you.
I know personally, I really appreciate you coming brand new to town and you're stepping up and trying to get involved. That's just speaks volumes to your personality and to your character. The fact that you want to get involved, being in town as a new resident, is just outstanding, and I compliment you very much. Thank you for your help.
Thank you. And congratulations to whoever you pick. No offense, but I'm going to leave because I want to get some
Totally
ice cream.
okay.
Fair enough.
Well, we hope to see you soon.
You will. Thank you.
Good.
Thank you.
Good night. Okay.
So the final tally's on the board.
Okay. So we'd like to welcome Joan, Eric, and Mac to the board, or to the committee, and then we have a tie between Mary and Sarah.
I think that gives you 5.
That's
It's 5.
So anyone,
Oh, I'm
anyone
sorry,
got
you're right.
4 or
That's right.
5,
Thank you,
you're in.
FinCom. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so
Because I'm like, oh my God, what do we do now?
so this is Chris in the chair of the select board.
Right, I am not the chair of the FinCom. I'm not, and I'm not the chair of the FinCom. All right, perfect. All right, well then we'd like to welcome Joan, Mary, Sarah, Eric, and Matt to the Fire Station Building Committee. And before you change your mind, we're going to appoint you all.
I think we should probably do a unanimous vote. Like, I don't know if that's even feasible. Like,
Yeah, because this was just a tally.
Yeah, this is just
Yeah.
the tally. Yeah,
Okay.
so we'll vote each person like we always do. Now, I do want to open it up. I know there were a lot of people on Zoom. Does anybody else have any, comments in the process, thoughts? I want to thank everybody who volunteered. I mean, and put their hand up. And I really, really, really hope you'll consider either attending the meetings, they're public meetings, participate, or join other committees that could really use your skills and expertise. But, all right, let's turn it over to
Joan and Eric.
the Zoom. Joan? There we go.
Well, thank you very much for your vote of confidence, and I'm looking forward to joining the committee.
Well, we're looking forward to it too. Thank you.
Thank you, John.
John, thank you, John.
Eric, tell me how to say your name.
Yeah, Mishnovez.
Mishnovez. All right, I'm going to
Correct.
get my best Disney on. Mishnovez. Okay. Well, welcome and thank you for volunteering. Anybody else?
No.
Not tonight. All right.
No,
Okay.
Mac, do you want to say anything?
Oh my God. Does your wife know you're here?
I'm really happy. I think it's going to be a good process. Mary Brolin, as you well said, she has run the ship in so many different ways. I'm sorry. I'm really glad Mary Brolin is on the committee. I think Joan is the only person I don't know. It was kind of interesting with Eric and Gary are both contiguous neighbors of mine. So it could have been 3 of us, right? And we could have just met in the backyard there. But the other people, I know all the other people, and I think it's going to be a good committee. And I don't know, is there some way that we're going to find out if everybody can get there Wednesday night?
That's him.
So yes, I'll be emailing the committee either tonight or tomorrow, and probably tonight, and find out if 7 o'clock Wednesday night is possible for folks. If it's not, and if Thursday's better, then we'll go ahead and schedule one for Thursday, or if there's a better time than 7. But for right now, we have this room and our BXB-TV crew reserved for 7 p.m. Wednesday night.
So one of the challenges that Kirby pointed out is Wednesday is really the only night this space is available so that you could be hybrid and recorded. So we're hoping that everybody's going to be able to put that together, unless you're all able to meet during the day, when the space is open. But Wednesday is going to be the night, we hope.
And even Wednesday wasn't easy because
we're kicking somebody out.
We had to ask. No, we didn't kick anybody out, but we did ask very nicely for Conscom if they would go to the Morse Hillberg room, because the plan is, if it works for the committee, is to meet on first and third Wednesdays at 7 o'clock, and they can discuss that at their first meeting. And Kelly did have a conversation with Mary. I don't know if she's had a chance to talk with Sam and Anderson. Certainly it hasn't gotten out to the rest of Conscom yet, but we've asked for at least this Wednesday if they could meet at Morse Hillberg, because they don't televise, and we think, at least at the beginning, that this committee should.
Yeah. Now, if Wednesday absolutely doesn't work for your group, we're going to figure it out. We're just hopeful that it will.
I would just say, I would just wish that my wife were as excited about this as I am.
I wonder. She's like, great, more blueprints on the dining room table, huh?
Oh, boy, there's a trouble.
Well, we appreciate it. Thank you.
Spouses of serial hand raisers do pay a price.
That's so true, so true. All right, so let's start
Before
moving.
you do the appointments,
Sure.
let's do it. Do you want to also decide who your select board representative is
Oh, sure,
going to
yeah,
be?
we can do it all at
And
once, yeah.
then we know who the FinCom has put forward. And then I think you may also want to designate the fire chief and the TA as, as non-voting, ex officio members. And then you could do all those appointments this evening if you like.
Yep, we'll do it all tonight.
So,
Mac has a question.
oh, okay.
Yeah, you put the mic back.
Yeah, Mac, just keep the mic.
I had raised two issues with the message that I sent to you all. One was, in your charter, you mentioned that you might appoint some other people that would be supportive of our committee. And when I think of appoint, that means someone's going to be a voting member. And you said, you chose different words when you talked about the police chief and the fire chief. That's what made me think of it. You said that you would, I can't remember exactly the word.
Ex officio.
Yes, but.
Well, I think the word we're using, alternate, I think we're using the word alternate.
But you said the word appoint. I was concerned about what that meant.
Yeah.
Yep. I think we addressed it, though, no?
So
No, okay, you're not sure. Okay, go ahead,
when
Mike.
the question came up, it was, as I was asked if we could give an example, and I couldn't easily come up with an example. I think I used Lee Slade as an example, and I think the idea was tapping into someone's expertise.
Right.
And I think that would also be as an ex officio, so an additional non-voting member. Just like, the TA would be non-voting, the fire chief would be a non-voting. And the other thing that was pointed out was that in the charter it says board, and I think it was Bob who said, or maybe it was Rajan who said, board doesn't necessarily mean the select board. We're talking about the committee, the fire station building committee, if they need to reach out and bring in more expertise to attend their meetings. And I think that was the clarification, that it would be, tell me if you agree, but, the committee itself could reach out and get additional people to join their committee, but it would be ex officio, so additional non-voting members, so that it would remain as 7 voting members.
So if you choose to do that, you would clarify what their role is. You would clearly say they're ex officio members, you said, right? And the other issue was about the clerical part that we talked about. We're hoping that there will be some support for that. Thank you.
We're hoping that the OPM can take care of that.
Right.
Yeah, the OPM can take care of part of that, but I think it would be tough for the OPM to do all of the minutes. I think we might need to call on somebody to provide some additional administrative.
So if it serves the board, I can work with whoever the chair of this new committee is to set up to make sure that we're taking care of both the working notes as well as the minutes that would meet the requirements of Mass General Law,
Yep.
Open meeting. So I can work
Yep,
with the
no,
chair
that's
and make
good.
sure we take care of those things.
Any further discussion? All right, so let's figure out, so then we can do it all at once. So 2 select board members raised their hand. Wes and Priya both have indicated they'd be interested in being on the committee. So I'm gonna turn it over to you guys to kind of talk about, what you're, why you'd like to be on the committee and why you think you'd be a good addition to the team.
No, I just figured, so I mean, like, we both lived in town for quite some time. And it's not like, honestly, I don't think you can go wrong with either Priya or myself. It's just something that was interesting to me because it was also potentially around, like, diagonal from my house. And I figured I'll also be paying for the whole thing, since I'll be paying taxes for the next 30 years as well. So I'd rather blame myself if something goes wrong and we need to fix it with the fire station than blaming like someone like Priya. So that was.
I'll take care of you. Don't you worry.
But yeah, no, that's fine. Either way, I have no. I mean, I think the committee would be fine.
Okay, Priya, why would you like to be on the committee?
The committee, I think this is where I've watched this building, fire station, and like public safety, like go on and on and on. And I think we are at a point where we need to move this forward rather quickly, progress it, and actually get it, make it happen. And I think I have the drive and the commitment to make that happen.
Well,
At the
what's
right price.
At the right price, make it efficient.
So what's in the back of my head is all good deeds must be punished, because
Right.
what I appreciate is that, you did the town meeting presentation, you went to the transfer station, handed out flyers, you manned the booth on Piper's Day, and I watched you like grab people out of
Nobody
the
got
crowd.
by.
Nobody got by you. I mean, I just feel like, you've already put in all of that effort, so you deserve to be on the committee. So sorry, Wes, I think you'd be great. I do. But like you said,
I mean,
you're
you don't
both
have to lie
great
about it.
choices. But
Yeah.
all good deeds must be punished. But that's just kind of what and also, I worked with you on the fire station committee. The building committee, and really, really appreciated your support. You always came prepared. You had read everything. You were ready to go. And when I was questioning myself, I knew you were always there to do that. So now I'll be behind you to do this. How about that?
So I would add to that, Wes. I appreciate the fact that you have interest in doing that. I don't
mean,
think
like,
I
as soon
could.
as this is going, I don't really care. Like, you can just vote.
He doesn't care.
You don't
No,
have to
I
blow
can make a
smoke up my
motion,
butt.
but I did want to say that what Priya's kind of put into this to this point. I really feel like I need to make a motion to nominate Priya for the.
Well, you don't have to not. You don't. You can just. It's fine. You can just.
Well,
give it to Priya,
we'll
like,
appoint
"Oh,
her.
let's go."
We'll, all right, so you
Okay.
you move to,
Priya's it.
okay, so if you
Not
want, you
mine.
can go ahead and read that, because that would be the motion.
Okay, well, then, I'm very happy to say, I move to appoint Priya Sundaram to the Fire Station Building Committee as the representative from the Select Board for the term ending June 30th, 2027.
Wes, do you want a second?
Is there a second?
Don't rub it in.
Sure.
There you go.
Sure.
Did he
Okay.
say it? Okay.
That's not like Wayne's World, sure. All right, any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Priya? You don't get to
Congratulations.
complain later.
Yeah. I don't get to complain.
All right.
So we can do, I don't think we need to nominate people individually.
No, I can list all the names, yep. I move to appoint Joan Blaustein, Mary Brolin, and Joan, I hope I said your name right, Sarah Lovato, Eric Mishneves, and Mac Reed to the,
And,
did I say it wrong?
No, I think she wants to do those separately.
okay.
Yeah,
That's
that-
fine. You do.
You're right, just keep
That's
going.
the 5 at-large
Yeah,
members.
I was just gonna say, all right, sorry, you guys messed up my roll
All right,
here.
all right.
Okay, I said all the
Back it
names
up.
to the Fire Station Building Committee for a term ending June 30th, 2027.
Second.
Is there any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. That is unanimous. All right. I move to appoint Maria Nealon to the Fire Station Building Committee as the representative from the Finance Committee for a term ending June 30th, 2027.
Second.
Any further discussion? Now's your chance to run and
Yeah,
hide.
Maria, run. Well, she
Again,
can't
all
run,
good
but.
deeds must be punished, and you guys
Yeah.
do. Okay. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
I'm grateful you didn't ask me why I wanted to do something for Foxborough, what I love about Foxborough, because that's what you ask everyone to do.
You know what? Now I'm feeling remiss.
Oh, see, now you did it. Oh,
Now I'm feeling
We were
remiss.
almost out of here.
All right. Okay, I'll get you next time. Don't think I won't.
Good luck.
Okay. All right. I move to appoint the Boxborough Fire Chief to the Fire Station Building Committee as an ex officio member for a term ending June 30th, 2027.
Second.
I'd like to write his name. Could you say his name?
I move to appoint John Kivlin, the Boxborough Fire Chief, to the Fire Station Building Committee as an ex officio member for a term ending June 30th, 2027.
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That's unanimous. I move to appoint Michael Johns, the Boxborough Town Administrator, to the Fire Station Building Committee as an ex officio member for a term ending June 30th, 2027.
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? No, just kidding. All right, I think that's it. We have our 7 members and our ex officios, so you guys are off and running. So your first job is to hire an OPM.
Yes.
So
Go.
So I have the 7 books here that Matt can take with him. For anybody else who's listening on this, they can pick the set of OPM manuals or
Priya,
qualifications from Rajan or I tomorrow from our office.
And Priya, we can, after the meeting, we can give you a copy
I
of
know.
the,
I thought you were getting ready to say.
the applications.
Okay. All right, I'll sign these at the end after we're all done. All right, the last thing we need to do is discuss the Acton Boxborough Regional School District 2024-2025 revised budget. So,
So,
He is.
Tony, are you here?
Yeah,
I
he's
thought he
he's
was
in the
there,
meeting.
yeah.
Yeah, so he's gonna speak to this.
Awesome. All right, we'll unmute Tony now. So,
Awesome.
long story short, our last meeting, we did receive communication from the region regarding a shortfall that they needed to make up. I'm going to actually turn it back over to Mike, because Mike communicated directly on our behalf with Peter Light. And I also know, Tony, you also communicated, so I'll bounce between you and Mike. So Mike, why don't you start, and then we'll turn it to Tony.
So right after your meeting last week, I think it was the next morning, I did send a letter in response to the superintendent and the school district treasurer and finance director, and everyone else who was included on the letter that came from the school district treasurer to us, and asked some of the questions that came up during your meeting a week ago, and let them know that the chair of the finance committee intended to reach out to them with possibly further questions. The one question that I had that was raised at your meeting a week ago was, would the baseline budget, would the budget go back to baseline after they made this necessary expenditure of about $1.7 million? And I got a response immediately from the superintendent, and it was yes. They would be going back to the town meeting voted baseline budget. And that was the biggest question that I heard come up at the board meeting, and it was a question that I also had. So that question was answered. I don't know if the FinCom members or Maria or Tony had additional questions to that, or if they've had a chance to reach out to the school committee. But Tony is, I think, on there.
Yeah, so I also.
Okay, we can't hear you, Tony.
Hold on, Tony. Wait a minute, Tony. Hold on.
See if he can get closer to the mic.
Maybe turn your mic up. That's better.
There you go. We got you now.
Okay, so I also reached out to Melissa Andrew. Actually, it was after Mike had received a response back from Peter Light to his letter. So I asked essentially the same question about the baseline budget for next year, but also I pressed a bit further to see whether they would actually be voting that at the school committee, because I think we need to sort of memorialise this so that when we go into budgeting for next year, we have that very clear that 114 million is the new budget starting point. I also asked some other questions in addition to that. One was, could they not have taken some of that money from the fiscal year 24 budget if they knew about this before end of the year and not had such a big impact on the 25 budget? I also asked them about what is the reserve status right now. They've taken quite a big chunk of their reserves out, so we're not sure now what the E&D reserve for the school committee is, or the school system is. And we're also a little bit concerned that is this really the final Acton Health Trust payment required? Will there be down the road some further costs that's going to also impact the FY25 budget? And we'd like to know whether that is a risk that we should be, at least be aware of going forward. So Peter Light has not, they responded to say they got the letter, but they'll be responding soon with answers. So nothing came back yet from the school committee or from Peter Light with any detail on those responses.
Okay. All right, so we're waiting for a response on that then.
Right, because it's a little disconcerting. I appreciate Tony's question. Is there going to be another bill coming down the pipe? Or is this the final bill? Because it seems to be that's the big one that always hits. As I think you said it last week, it's always the health insurance. It's like, well, all of a sudden someone else got cancer or whatever the case may be. But I think we really need to get an answer for that one. That's a tough one.
I just want to say, I know I came very strong last week, but it was important because things were not transparent, and all I had was to make assumptions.
Yeah.
And when you have to assume, you assume for the worst. And I'm glad that at least it's not going to be in the baseline budget, but as Tony's pointing out, and so is Bob, we still concerned about, is there other things that's going to come up?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else on that?
No, that's all I have.
Any updates from the board on any liaisons, whatever? We kind of stopped here, and I said we'd come back at the end of the meeting.
So I have one thing I want to mention about the liaison. We have a new board member, and so he has not been assigned any of those. We've all kind of split it four ways, and he's asked me about being the veteran services person, and I say that's absolutely fine with me. So I don't know.
You're
if
abdicating your position to Bob?
on that one.
Just
I
on
am.
that
Yeah,
one.
but that's it. But that was the only one. But I think it's probably worth kind of looking over them again so that Bob
Sure.
has an opportunity to.
Why don't we do that at our next meeting?
Sure.
Just take a quick look.
Do we already have one for public celebrations? Does somebody have that one already? Is that?
I think when we were trying to do that, we didn't have anybody in public celebrations.
We do
members,
now,
I think,
and I
at
mention
that time.
because the veterans and public celebrations, while it's not the same, they kind of go together on some
yeah.
things. So it might be something to
I
think
have
about
to
for
tell
next.
you, I would love to see public celebrations go back to what it was, 40 years ago. I would love to see us doing more public celebrations, not just.
How about 20 years?
Okay, whatever. Well, 40 years ago as a kid.
I was going to say.
So at any rate, I would love to see that public celebrations get more support from the select board, have more volunteers, because I know it's a small group of people carrying a lot on their shoulders. So I would love to almost do the same thing we did for the fire station, is really go out there and look for people that want to help support that and bring all that back. And this is married to why I want to do the pledge at every meeting. I want to build a sense of community, and public celebrations is one way that we do that. Pfeiffer's Day was amazing. Having, just all of us being there in a place where people could stop and talk to us was great. And I would just like to see more of that happening. I feel like a broken record, but I just feel like that's what people need right now is community. So, anyway, yeah.
Whoever said, I think we should just look at the list.
Yeah.
I'd be glad to step up wherever it's needed.
All right, let's review so our next meeting is the 29th. Let's put that on the agenda to just take a quick look again at at who's liaising to whom. Maybe renew our memory on what we're all responsible for.
29th.
What?
So just a reminder, there's no meeting next week. It's the 29th, which gives the new fire station building committee a little more time, almost 2 weeks to meet and come back, hopefully with a recommendation to you on who to hire as the OPM.
Not gonna lie to you, I thought we had a meeting next Monday.
I
so-
did too,
I did
well,
too.
that's what
Oh,
I
we all
asked.
thought it was next
originally-
Monday?
It's because we originally did, but the problem is that we have a lot to do between,
Yeah.
because originally we put off the appointments to tonight, which they were gonna be last week,
Yeah.
which starts to slide everything. And I figured if we just move the appointments to tonight, but don't move the hiring of the OPM, that gave this
We
new
did talk
committee.
about this.
Yeah, it gives
It
the
was a
new
long
committee
meeting
less
last
than a week. And when you look at the agenda that was posted tonight by Kelly, or this afternoon by Kelly, of what the new fire station building committee has got to do, it's enormous. They've got to organize, they've got to elect a chair, vice chair, and clerk. They've got to then look at their charter, review it. They've got to look at their goals. They've got to look at their schedule and timeline. Then they've got to review the packet that I just handed to Mac. So they've each got 7 books to read this week. And then they've got to go in and rank those, come up with some finalists, bring them into interview 3 or 4 of these companies, and then they've got to rank them and come back to you by your next meeting to recommend who you're going to hire for the town as the OPM.
Well, when you
So-
put it that way, it makes total sense.
Yeah, 1 week is impossible, 2 weeks is very challenging. But if we slide back from the 29th, that's 1 less week that the OPM and the team has to work to bring some deliverables to town meeting, whether it's, winter or what have you. So it's really critical that we, make our next meeting the 29th and try and stay on track as much as we can.
So, Mike, just a quick question. So I'm looking at the schedule we was posted. So we're moving the 7/22 to 7/29, and then the next one I have is 8/12. Is that pretty much the schedule?
And then we're gonna, and then.
Stick to the schedule.
Yeah, I think we stick to
Okay.
the schedule unless anybody has other.
No, I just want,
Yeah.
what I have.
Just wanted to move that one, just to give the new committee
Great.
enough time to get any traction.
I'm good.
All right. Any other business to bring before the board? Anybody on Zoom have anything to bring before the board? Seeing none, I move to adjourn at
I'll second that.
8:44 p.m. I heard a second. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed? All right. Thank you, everybody. Good work.
Nice work.
It was hard.
8:43.